Now, I've watched several channels on making fire on YouTube, several videos, and they'll take their ferrocerium rod, they'll have a little pile set up, and they'll make one little spark. They'll cut away for 3 seconds, and they come back and there's a full-grown fire. Fire is one of the oldest tools of mankind and one of the biggest necessities to survival, and I cannot do it. I've tried once in the forest as a test to create a fire, and I was unsuccessful. I went home and I made some fire starters and upgraded my fire kit, went camping, and still could not start a fire even with dry wood. So this is early February here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to try once again to see if I can build a fire. Okay, well, I'm going to spare you the 10 minutes of watching me cut these two little logs out. Let me tell you, this stuff isn't easy. So you have to bring plenty of water, plenty of calories to refuel yourself if you're out here trying to survive. All right, look, I don't know how well you can tell, but there's a dead bat or squirrel or something in this bottle. That's creepy. I don't know what kind of people are in the forest, what they're doing. I don't know what kind of ritual that was. Now let's get out of here before we turn up the hills have eyes type of dinner. So from my gathering, I have some dried up grass. I have some thumbs. I have a pile of pencils and matchsticks. I have those two short little logs that we cut up earlier. And I have some random chunks of wood that I picked up along the drive out here. So I'm gonna take my axe, my saw, and my knife, and we're gonna process this wood up to make firewood. Hey, isn't that cheating? You're using 2 survival bags. Yeah, this is in the Tesla survival bag, but I'm hoping that if you go into the wilderness to live for a while, you have some friends that go with you. A wife, a girlfriend, someone else in your collective. Living on your own is gonna suck. I spend about 10 minutes processing these 2 rounds into different sized pieces of firewood, and then processing the innermost, driest pieces of wood into kindling, and then I'll take some of the kindling and slice off little shivers to make some fire starter shavings. And yes, to answer your question, this would absolutely be easier with a splitting ball. But do you have one that fits in your backpack? Neither do I. Here I'm just using my knife to cut as close to paper thin shavings as possible. These are nice and dry, and I'm hoping they'll act as a go-between from the grass to the larger kindling. So I have these split up wood pieces that I'm going to lay down to try to build a little bit of a damper for the moisture on the ground. When your fire gets going, it's already pulling the moisture out of the grass and the sticks and everything else that you have on here. You don't need it to try to suck all the moisture out of the dirt. It'll never take off. So I've been told. I've never made it that far. So I have a moisture barrier down, white cloth. I'm going to grab some of this grass and make a little bird's nest out of it. I'm going to sprinkle in these wood chips that I made. Then I'm going to take my matchsticks and my pencils. Try not to compact them too much because I want that grass to be able to breathe. Plenty more twigs. Okay, so I have a little layered pyramid with a moisture barrier on the bottom, airflow able to go through, wood chips, grass, not necessarily dry grass, but dead grass, and then the inner dry wood off of that log that we cut up earlier. Now I'm gonna grab the fire starter kit and see if we can get this going. Now I've watched several channels on making fire on YouTube, several videos, and they'll take their ferrocerium rod, they'll have a little pile set up, and they'll make one little spark. They'll cut away for 3 seconds, and then come back and there's a full-grown fire. Clearly it doesn't work quite that easy. I've watched the Green-Bearded Green Beret. He has a video on making fire in the rain. He does make the fire, but there's no rain in the video. Now, I'm absolutely not saying I don't think Gray-Bearded Green Beret can make a fire in the rain. I absolutely believe he can. My point is, you watch YouTube videos and you think, man, making a fire is so easy. If that is your plan, to go out in the wilderness and build a fire in order to survive, I'm urging you now, go out and practice. It is not as easy as it looks on YouTube. You can see it's been 3 seconds and there's still not a fire here going. But there is, of course, a magic tool to make this help. Harry Potter wand. Illumino Presto. So we're gonna build our way up from the easiest thing, or from the hardest way I think there is to make the fire, so that's the ferrocerium rod, to just using a lighter. Gray-Bearded Green Beret says if you have to strike it more than 3 times, you've done something wrong. Yeah, I believe you, but I don't know what that is. So I'm gonna take some magnesium. I'm gonna scrape some of this off with my knife, using the back square portion of the blade. I don't know, theoretically there's magnesium dust in there. I don't really see any, but magnesium is supposed to be very flammable. Okay, procrastinating prepper 0, ferro rod 1. That's not gonna do it. Now let's drop a match in. I guess I should say now let's see if I can even strike a match. No, I broke it and then I dropped it. That just blew it up. So we'll try one more table match. I didn't get a very good drop on any of those. Nope, and the match is out. Okay, so now let's try a storm match. See if we have any better luck there. All right, so that's not a winner. Yes, I could use a regular Bic lighter, but I'm gonna use this one instead because I have it. So let's get in here and try to get some grass on fire. little too much smoke in there. Just try to air it out a little bit. Oh, I'm losing it. Okay, so now we're going to try our little fire starter pads. This is a cotton swab dipped in paraffin wax. We rip that open so that the wax on the outside can start the fire, and then hopefully the cotton will catch.
So as I'm editing this video, I see that this is just a big rat's nest. It lacks any form and any structure. It's just a bunch of different layers all kind of commingled and jumbled together. What it should have is some solid sides to provide a structure so that you can layer some stuff on top. You get your fire starter down in the middle, you allow it to breathe and catch fire, and then that will go up to where you have your next level laying on the side of the structure so that that can catch and have room, and then you build from there. So if I could give any advice to myself here, Monday night quarterbacking myself, would be build some sides, get your fire starter in the center, and then pile some stuff on top, hovering over where your fire is lit. This video is edited down to 30 minutes, but I was out in the wilderness for over 4 hours trying to get this fire going. Problem number 1 is I'm inexperienced. Problem number 2 is the products that I had were wet, damp, green, freshly cut trees. Problem number 3 is the structure of the fire just wasn't there. I needed a better foundation to build from. I was out here filming so long that I couldn't keep batteries going. One battery would die in one camera and I'd swap and charge it while the other camera recorded, and then that one would die. There's so much footage that I run out of SD card space, so I was just completely unprepared, 1, to make a fire, and 2, to capture the process on video. So at one point I actually get a couple of the firewood pieces put on, and I think the fire is going to take off and it soon dies out, and that's pretty much the highlight of the video. I don't capture the end of the video. When the camera started dying, I just poured water over the smoldering fire that was left. It never really took off, but the responsible thing is, douse your fire and smother it out with dirt and water. So that's off video, but I did do that. We will definitely find that in my videos, sometimes I'm successful in showing you what to do, and sometimes I'm successful in showing you what not to do. This is what my channel is all about: getting out and practicing, finding weaknesses, researching, learning, and doing better. So in the next fire video, hopefully we'll see some actual fire. I thank you all for hanging out with me today. Hopefully you have learned a thing or two about what not to do if you're stuck out in the wilderness and need to keep yourself warm. I'm sure the comment section will go crazy with people telling, experienced people telling me what they would have done. I've seen lots of different systems, so I know there's lots of different ways that work, and I just didn't choose any of those, either through inexperience or through lack of quality product out there, on the forest floor. So take this reminder to get off your butt and go do something, and go practice your skills. Thank you all for watching the video. I appreciate the support. Procrastinating Prepper out.